Welcome to Frank Bruno Law. I'm representing an older person above the age of 70 that's getting a divorce. Now, I have a number of elderly clients in the field of guardianship or estate planning, contesting some aspect of surrogates court. But in this particular case, I'm representing an individual that does not want to be divorced. Doesn't want to be divorced, does not want to sell the property that's owned with the partner, doesn't want to move. So we have this friction, because when you own a property inside of a marriage, well, what can be done? A can buy out B, or B can buy out A, or A and B together can sell to a third party. But what happens when one person wants to sell? Well, ultimately, and this can happen for a young couple, it can happen for an old couple, it can happen for people with adolescent teenagers. You frequently get one spouse that wants the house sold and the other spouse would like to keep it and stay in there. There has to be a recognition that when a marriage ends, the circumstances and the factual situation that existed while you were together can no longer exist. And if you have any value home, $200,000 home, I don't even know that they exist in New York anymore, but 100,000 would conceivably belong to partner A and 100,000 to partner B, subject to taxes and payment and realtor. But even if you have $1 million home, subject to all of those expenses, well, how do you get out? You're close to $500,000. Possibly the only way to do it is to sell to a third party. But my client and my mission is to not sell the property, because that's what my client wants. Or, in the alternative, buy out the other side. And that's some tact and negotiation and prayer. Well, prayer always helps everyone. Even if you just pray to your higher power. In a divorce, how is debt divided? Well, just like your assets, you have $1 million property, you would sell it. You know what I realized? I answer a question before I answer the question. So I'm answering how to divide debt, and instead I went into how to divide an asset. Give you a little bit about that. If you have an asset of $1 million in stock, because you don't have to do too much, you'd sell the stock and transfer the cash. But it's not the only way. If you have 200 shares of a stock, one spouse can leave with 100 shares and the other spouse can leave with 100 shares, like adding up to the 200. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is one person can receive all 200 shares of stock and the other person can get something else of equal value, sometimes equal or greater value, depending on the reason for that. So I want to leave with the shares of stock and you want to stay with the home. Let's figure that out. Or a person might want to leave with a pension plan, not dividing it at some future point, and you can keep your 401k. But debt, the same way that you would divide an asset, you can divide a debt. So the couple has credit card debt. Well, you can keep the card that was yours and I'll keep the card that was mine. But if there's a difference, you owe 20,000 on your card and I owe 10. Well, what do we do with that other 10? How do we arrive at a solution? Well, we have to divide it. Now, one person can take it on the chin and say, I'll take the debt for a variety of reasons. They had debt, was associated with an asset, and they kept the asset. What do I mean? Well, it's not even an asset, but it's an item. So say I have debt associated with a living room set. Well, I have the living room set, I have the dining room set. I'll keep that item, those several items, and I'll also pay off the debt. Or I have a vehicle and I'll leave with the vehicle and the loan, the car loan. So the short answer is you divide it. You divide the debt and you apportion it between the two of you. And then the more complete answer is you throw the assets and the debt into a pot and you try and coordinate the math of it. I'm going to leave with these assets and this associated debt and or other debt like credit cards. The other person is going to leave with something else. And the idea is to split it evenly. Evenly is sometimes in the eye of the beholder. We try and work through all that.
And if you need assistance, please reach out. FrankBrunoLaw.com.